If you hear music moving around the background, moving and movement in my background, it's because my family's up. We got an active household, but I need to be here. Okay, as long as you can hear me, as long as you can see me, I'm good. We're good, right? Well, today's message um is going to be really, really good. We're gonna have a spirit talk about hoodoo, divination, and ancestral messages. As you know, I am a hoodoo practitioner. Also, I am a professing Mongol witch. I perform magic. I am a medium. I'm a psychic. I'm a prophetess. So many. A high priestess. I do have a coven. And this path was one I didn't think I would ever be on. Uh, you couldn't have told me, wow, a few years back that this would be my open profession and statement to the world. But guess what? As I am opening up, professing and making my statement to the world, I'm proud. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I do because it is absolutely phenomenal. I've been able to help so many people on so many levels, but most of all, I've been able to help myself first. For those of you that walk in this journey, have been walking this journey for a while, when you know, you know. But we're here and we're going to be sharing for my series, Witchcraft Do You Choose? And again, we're talking about hoodoo divination, listening to the ancestors. This is our spirit talk. Hi, family. How y'all doing? I'm glad everybody's here today. You know, I want to put this out here in a challenging way. I want to put it out. Hello, how are you? I'm going to put this out here in a challenging way. Whatever you practice, whatever you believe, I'm doing well. Your ancestors are speaking to you or have spoken to you. But are you listening? Are you listening to your ancestors? And so today we're going to bridge the worlds through hoodoo divination and ancestral communion. I'm going to guide you through the unseen and unlock the secrets of spirit communication. Hoodoo style. There's no other way. Hoodoo style. So, hoodoo is just isn't about roots and herbs. It's a living tradition of signs, symbols, and spirit messages. You know, when you think about hoodoo and the way our ancestors came up and the things that they encountered, the suffering that they endured, some were able to live through it and some lost their lives. And we give honor to them today for the path that they took so that I could be here sitting and talking to y'all about this today. So they didn't have the fancy tools. They didn't have the little pretty bags like I got. They didn't have the little pretty boxes for their oracle cards. They didn't have, you know, all the different scents of incense. They didn't have the pretty crystal ball. They didn't have the crystal tower. They didn't have this shit, y'all. They didn't have it. So they had to use what they had. They had bones from the meals that they had eaten prior. They had dreams. They had the Bibles. And they had regular playing cards. And this is what they use. And so, even as I look at my beautiful altar, they didn't have access to that either. Their altar looked nothing like mine. And a lot of them had to practice in secret because of the slave masters. But they made it do what it do. So when we're talking about our ancestors, we're talking about how they had to lay the foundation. Thank y'all for the love. They had to lay the foundation in which I'm sitting on today. Okay. Uh, with my head wrapped, comfortably in my home. Um, my eyes shut. You know what I'm saying? They laid the foundation for me to sit here so beautifully and talk about what they walked through. And I'm just so grateful. I am in therapy. I am a healer getting my healing. I am a mentor, but yet I'm a mentee. Oh, wow. Y'all hear that? I am a friend, but yet I need a friend. Okay, I'm back. Had a little bit of difficulty there. Technical difficulty. So I'm so grateful for the foundation that my ancestors walked through, the things that they endured, so that I could be sitting here today sharing from my point of view. And so we go back to the fact that they used what they had. Like I said, they had the bones from the last meal they ate. They had regular playing cards. They had all of that going on. And so I just wanted to honor that today. I'm going to go back to my notes here. Okay, so moving forward. I apologize for the pause, y'all. It went kind of crazy. The energy is kind of crazy today. So, like they would use the playing cards, and I'm still learning how to do that. Spirit was dealing with me about this yesterday. One of my students, as a matter of fact, my very first magical student, I started teaching her about magic, and that's how I evolved to here. Okay, so she created her own bone throwing kit. And a couple of weeks ago, she was telling me about it, and this is what our ancestors did. And so she said it's just a few things that I probably will purchase. She said, but mostly I want to make this kit myself with the things that I come across, the things that I find, the things that I have in my home. And that is exactly what our ancestors did. Also, they read coffee grounds, they read the candle wax, Okay, these are the things that I need to hone in on because my ancestors did it. So they would do candle work, and then the candle will melt, and they will read the messages within the melted candle wax. I think that's amazing. And also, they were dreamers. They were able to interpret dreams. That is something I'm really good at. I've been dreaming since I was a little girl, and when I got into ministry and just my overall life, somebody's always coming to me to interpret their dream. It's just something I know how to do. But that's what our ancestors did. They didn't have dream interpretation on Google. They had to tap into their intuition and trust it so that they can give the messages that spirit was speaking to the individual in the dream. Also, when it comes to dealing with, our ancestors, which means that those that were once here are now gone on to the other side. They don't always speak in words. Let us be mindful of that. They send signs. They'll send chills to your body. The hair of your neck will stand up. You'll feel a presence that you cannot see. A repeating number. We call them angel numbers. A blue jay or a red bird at your window, or flying through, or a butterfly landing on your arm or in close proximity. That is how our ancestors speak to us. Also, if you're seeing coins, feathers, you're smelling a perfume and nobody's there, and you smell it out of nowhere, that's your ancestor speaking to you. Okay? Also, you can get a candle if you want to do a more authentic, less aesthetic way of connecting with your ancestors. If you want to just do that for a day, right? Like, I got all types of fancy shit. But say one day you just want to connect with them in the most authentic, less aesthetic way. You can light a white candle, okay? Have a white cloth, put the candle down there with the water, and a personal item, a picture of something, or an item that you have of them, from your ancestors. You don't need a fancy setup. To see, that's the whole point. We don't need a fancy setup to talk to our ancestors. So let's try this tonight. If you don't have an altar, this is perfect for you. Pour fresh water in a glass. This is a glass of water that I keep on my working table. The spirits, they thirst for water. Also, this is a conduit for them to easily move back and forth from the spirit realm and the natural realm. That's why you always have lights of some type, flame on your altar. And so when you light this white candle, it will carry your prayers. Fire carries prayers. You want to speak their names and then get quiet. The first thought that comes to you, that is your ancestors. So if you're listening and you feel a warm, or a song comes to mind, or something just impresses upon your heart, that's your confirmation that your ancestors are with you, they're speaking to you, and they're forever trying to get a message to you. You just can't ignore it, but you also need to know how to identify it. Also, your ancestors, they are waiting to speak to you. If you've never engaged in this type of connection, or you've been fearful of, you don't need to fear. You don't need to fear. have fear when it comes to connect with your ancestors, because if you have issues and things going on, trust and believe they're waiting to assist you, but they know they cannot enter into this realm, especially if you're operating in fear, without proper invitation or permission. Also, a little background. For those of you that don't know much about hoodoo, hoodoo was born in the American South, where our people merged with West African spirit tradition, with Native American herb knowledge, and European folk magic. See, this is where I get really irritated with people when they say, you can't do certain things that's from the Europeans or whatever. But hoodoo is a combination of all of that. Hoodoo is a combination of um Christianity. Hoodoo is a combination of Native American traditions and beliefs. Hoodoo is a combination of African spirituality. Quiet is kept, whether you want to admit it or not, this is how we got hoodoo. This is how we got here. So the enslaved, our ancestors, they couldn't always speak freely. So they couldn't say, directly, this is what's going on. Or, of course, they didn't want to share what was going on out in the open. They would have been abused. They would have been, beat, um, tormented for that. So they look for signs. Instead, they would read a bird's flight, how low it's flying, how high it's flying. They will wait to, they would do their teas and stuff. They'll wait till their tea leaves settle and they will read the messages in the tea leaves. They would even listen to whispers or listen for whispers in the wind. They were absolutely phenomenal. So they felt like, and it was, because I feel the same. Oh, I feel spirit. I feel a tingling in the top of my head. They felt like these were messages from God. These were messages from their ancestors and the spirit world. If you practice hoodoo or any type of spirituality on any level, if your life does not change, you're not doing something right. You're not doing something right. There was areas in my life where it was just chaotic. There was areas in my life that it was just no hold bar, baby. It was a mess. I began practicing, and those areas began to work out. Those areas settled. A lot of people left. A lot of relationships were cut off because I was giving my all, my dedication, my communication to my ancestors. And I will always ask them to protect me, to guide me, to lead me. If someone's not there for my highest good, if someone there is there to hurt me or harm me, remove them. And baby, they will do just that. So this is not for the faint at heart. I understand why everybody's not practicing, because it's not for everybody. Everybody's not ready. And so when the slave masters weren't looking, okay, when they had that time, they can do their divination. They would throw bones. They would read playing cards. They would interpret dreams to plan escapes. They would warn each other of danger, and of course, they would heal their people. Personally, I feel like they will also do workings against the slave masters as well. That's just my take. Okay. So let's talk about some forms of divination that they did. Throwing the bones. This is called cleromancy. This right here is not a game. It's just like it's not like you throwing dice or anything like that. Each bone, each shell, each charm has a meaning. I told you my student, my mentee, she just made her own bone throwing kit, and she did her first reading for a person on me yesterday, and it was spot on. She did the bone throwing, she recorded it, she sent to me. It was absolutely phenomenal to see. Thank you. Thank you. You too, Miss Rose. And thank you for your love gift yesterday. I really needed that. I really needed that. I'm always getting supplies and things for my practice. So I really thank you. Okay, so she made her own. And in it, she got little trinkets and she got bones, actual bones. And so after she did that for me, I was so inspired. And this was a conversation that she and I had. And also the ancestors confirmed it that I need to make my own bone throwing kit. We need to go back to what's authentic. Nothing wrong with the aesthetics of everything, right? This is the day and age we live in, but let's not forget how raw and real our ancestors brought forth messages to help and to heal people. Okay? I don't want to get so caught up in all the pretty things that I have, right? All the many pretty things I have, and lose that power, that impact that hoodoo um brings into your life, into the lives of those that you are blessing. So each bone, each shell, each charm has a meaning. A crow's foot means gossip. A button means money's coming. If three bones cross in the middle, somebody's working against you. This is how some of the ways they read their readings in the bone throwing. They did cardiomancy, which they use playing cards. Now here we are again. Where's that at? Talking about the aesthetics. I have a deck. I must have put it up. A playing cards, but it's fancy. It's got pictures on it. It's got words on it. But Spirit was telling me you need to go back and get just a regular playing deck of cards, and you're gonna learn how to read them. But this is what they use. So let me give you some ideas how they read these cards for divination. So to flip over, they would flip over a queen of hearts and then a ten of spades. Okay, this is an example. They didn't need tarot. Um, they didn't need a tarot class. They just knew what they knew. So the queen of hearts, there's a strong woman guiding you. The ten of spades, trouble coming in 10 days. Better cleanse your house. This is how they read those readings. Also, coffee and tea grounds. They call that tasseography. After drinking, our elders would read the patterns left behind. They didn't have the fancy coffee filters. Y'all got to think about it. It was so authentic. It was so raw. It was so real. So they would read these patterns left behind. If they could see a chain in the patterns of the ground or the tea leaves, that meant a journey. If they seen the image of a dog, that meant loyalty or betrayal, or it just depending on the shape of the dog and the energy. And if they saw a coffin, well, you already know. And another one is bibliomancy. That is Bible divination. I'm being drawn to that. One of my favorite books to read and to teach out of, believe it or not, is the Bible. I was a profound teacher of the Bible. I could read a story and get some revelation you ain't thought about. So Spirit is leading me back in it. Also, my mother loved her Bible. My mother she had a whole ritual that she would do. Ooh, I miss her so much. She would get up in the morning and she had a percolator, coffee percolator. I used to love that. You could see the coffee. I'm going to get one in honor of her. Smell the coffee, and she would make her breakfast, and then she would sit at the table. And sometimes she would just make her coffee. Then she would sit at the table with her beautiful Bible, and I still have a Bible. Let me show it to y'all. And that's going to make it even more powerful. Now that my mother is my ancestor, I can use her Bible for Bible divination. So I really need to take care of this Bible. Isn't that beautiful? Look, it's got my mom's handwriting in it. She was left-handed. She got... Oh, y'all, look. She got her Facebook password. Yeah, Mama was with it. She got her Facebook password and name in here when she had it. She wrote it in her Bible. That's how much she liked Facebook. So I'm getting a little emotional. I want to apologize if the tears fall. She highlighted some things. That's how much Mom loved her Bible. So this is what I will be using to do that type of divination. So this is how you do it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. You could start off with a prayer. You have your incense, light a candle. Or maybe you don't have time for that. They didn't have time for that. They didn't have all that. They probably just prayed. No, they stayed in the spirit, especially if they did spiritual work. Thank you, Miss Rose. Thank you so much. So this is how I feel led to do it. Oh, gosh. Okay. So you put the Bible down. Let's see if I put my thing. Oh, y'all can see it. Okay. You put the Bible down. I've already prayed over it. And I'm just going to do like this. And I put my finger here. I'm going to read the first 5 verses. This is about Solomon and his laborers for the building of the temple. And Solomon determined to build a house for the name of the Lord, and a house for his kingdom. And Solomon told out 70,000 men to bear burdens, and 80,000 to hew in the mountain, and 3,600 to oversee them. Those numbers are significant, right? 10,000. If it says 80, that would say 40,000, right, y'all? That's what I would think. And 3,600 to oversee them. And Solomon sent to Huram, the king of Tyre, saying, as thou didst deal with David my father, and didst send him cedars to build him an house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. Behold, I build an house to the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread. and for the burnt offerings morning and evening on the Sabbaths and on the new moon and on the solemn feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. And the house which I build is great, for great is our God above all gods. But who is able to build him an house? I'm at the 6th verse. Seeing the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain him. Who am I then that I should build him a house, save only to burn sacrifice before him? What is this saying? I already got the message. Greater work shall I do. Greater work shall you do. The ancestors have gone before. They did what they can do. They used what they had. Your mom, your father, your grandmother, your auntie, whoever raised you, thank y'all for the love. They did the best they knew how with what they had. You have been put here in this space of time to take it to the next level. So they're not shaming you for having the beautiful tools. They're actually loving this because time evolves, things change, things become easier, things become better. That is what they fought for. That is what their prayers were for. Make it easier for my legacy, make it easier for my seed. That is my prayer for my children and my grandchildren and their children. And so when he said about, my father David, like you dealt with him, deal with me, recognizing the favor that's upon his life. He has that same favor that his father had. And a lot of y'all not walking in that favor. Sometimes we can sit and groan and moan and complain about the things that our parents or grandparents didn't do, or what we felt like they could have done better. But can you just take a moment to say they were human and they were trying to figure it out like me? Can you give them some grace and begin to look at the things that they left you? The good things. Even if it's just the Bible. I have more than that from my mother, but I'm just saying, even if just the Bible, her handwriting's in there. Even if it's just an urn. You may not have something physical, but you got, something you got tangibly touch, but you got their eyes, you got their good looks, you got the way they think. It's certain things you do, like mama, like grandma, like dad, like granddad. So that favor, we always talk about the curses, but there's blessing that we walk in as well. Okay? And then it talks about the altar. They want to shame us for having altars and stuff. It's right here in the freaking Bible. He had the incense. He had the bread. He had the burnt offering. Morning and evening. What did I tell y'all? My mom, I didn't listen. This is something I hadn't seen till now. I'm warm enough to say it. My grandmother and my mother, this is how you know confirmation that I'm hearing the ancestors. They say, I want you to light a tea light candle in the morning and in the evening. Well, it's right here. I be doggone. The new moon. Oh, don't follow the zodiac. Don't follow the moon cycle. That's of the devil. It's right here in the freaking book. New moon. Oh, you putting food on your ancestor altar and you're honoring the dead and you're having feasts in their name. His dad was dead at this point. Come on. I can't make this shit up, y'all. Y'all see me just open the Bible. I wasn't intending to do this. He was honoring his dad at this point. His dad is his ancestor at this point. And so the feast of the Lord our God. And that looks different for all of us. Okay, knowing first and foremost that you are God, you are a goddess, and that higher power, that higher energy resides in you. So when I say my ancestors, that's part of my team. When I say my spirit team, that's the spirits that I deal with. When I say my spirit guides, that's other family members, okay, that we don't count as our ancestors. Maternal, paternal, that's our aunties, our uncles. You know what I'm saying? They're your spirit team. And it may be some spirit animals. And when I say higher power, that is a greater power that we cannot see. But it's all interconnected. It all works together. And guess what? It works in you and through you. And so when we get down to the last scripture, he's saying, man, all this great work that my father did, can I do it? Am I capable? Do I have the capacity? Do I have the will? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the strength? Am I smart enough? Can I really do this? Who am I? At this time, he's humbling himself. I say this. Let me bring this down from spirit to earth. My mama and my grandmother could bring family together like nobody's business. No matter what was going on in the family, no matter who was bickering, who was fighting, they could have a feast plan, cook the food, and invite everybody. And guess what? Everybody will get along at that family gathering. So who am I to be able to carry this legacy on and build upon it? I was feeling bad because I had to disconnect from my siblings. It was really bad. It was abusive and everything. Those of you know my story know. And mom's been gone now for 4 years. I didn't know it had been that long because it's like she's here with me because I have an altar. And so I began to think about my siblings and I started to feel bad. And so I just want to show y'all this, but we're still on this energy. And I started to feel bad. And I was like, am I supposed to bring the family together? I can barely bring my little family together. I'm working on my kids and things like that, because they got their situation going on, So I started thinking, well, am I supposed to bring my brothers and my sister, my auntie, my uncle? In spirit, grandma came to me and she said, I didn't tell you to do that. That was Nikki's job. That's my baby sister. When my grandmother passed away, I think it's been about 8 years now since grandma passed away. She came to my baby sister. My grandmother came to me, but she specifically, I'm going to tell you what she said to me. She specifically came to my baby sister and said, bring the family together. That was her assignment. And she did not do it. She didn't do it. Every time she would talk about it, she would cry. She didn't do it. Young woman, in her 40s, been through hell and high waters. She's something to reckon with. Still want to be, instead of doing what the ancestor, what grandma told her to do. Grandma came to me and said, baby, your gift. She took my hand. I remember her feeling my hand. She said, your gift and your money is in your hands. So my job is not to bring the family together. Of course, keep my family together, build our legacy. I have 4 children, 2 grandchildren. I don't have a husband yet. That's in the works. But that's going to be, I could tell you this, the man that I marry, that I know I'm going to marry, he's African. So it's all interconnected. But anyway, Nigerian, to specify. But anyway, my job is to do what the hell I'm doing now. Teaching, creating, sharing, writing, making, doing these, I'm doing my part. And she said, this is where my gift lies, and this is where my money lies. And so as we look in the second book of Chronicles, it's speaking directly to us. I had no idea. All I know, Spirit said, this is the topic you want to talk on today. This is what time you need to be on. I just been flowing with Spirit. And so I pray that this spoke directly to you like it did me. You can't worry about what everybody else is doing. Oh, we're good at that as melanated people. Oh, sis ain't doing that. Bro ain't doing his part. Auntie ain't doing her part. We're so good at that. Picking out what somebody else is not doing. Okay? But can you not think about nobody else at this time and call yourself out for a minute? What is it that you're supposed to be doing that the ancestors gave you? Are you doing it? Are you not doing it? If you feel led, if you're doing it, say yes. If you're not doing it, say pray for me. Put that in the chat, and you can leave it under the video after this live is over. So there's a work to do. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Grandmother, for the message. I'm so full right now. We know Solomon was wealthy. We know Solomon had money. He had favor. He did a lot of great things. Wow. Greater works. Shall we do, family? Just do your part. Get out of everybody else's business. Do your part. Oh, goodness, this was good. This was so good, y'all. Make me a big bucket of water here online. I'm going to sit with this. I'll probably read that whole chapter. But that is how you do bibliomancy, using your Bible. And I just used one of my ancestors' Bible, my mother. Whew. Wow, that was great. So before Google, there was Bible divination. You ask the question, you flip to a random page, like I did, and your finger will land on the answer. You ever done that in church? I done it. I didn't know that was hoodoo. And then I started to hear preachers say, don't be doing that witchcraft. Y'all just flipping through pages and putting your finger on it. Don't be doing that witchcraft in my church. But that was hoodoo. It was what our ancestors did. It's a form of divination. No matter what they say, it was the spirit talking. So I want to give you, in conclusion, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I need some water. And I'm going to light some incense. Let me give y'all a simple ritual tonight that you can do. You can do it when you get off of here with me. Anytime you feel it. But my notes say at night. Yes, this one is for specifically at night. Thank you, Spirit. And when I tell you, you're going to understand why. I am going to draw a tarot card before we leave here. This is a beautiful deck. I'm going to use my Ancestral Path Tarot. But let's get your pen. This is your homework. This is your ritual for tonight to connect with your ancestors. Set up a small altar with a white candle, a glass of water, and a personal item from an ancestor. If you have a picture, put the picture there. Um, if you have their pipe, like if they like to smoke a pipe, their perfume, their favorite shirt, whatever you feel led to put on the altar to represent their ancestor. Okay, a ring, piece of jewelry, things of that nature. So the first thing that you're going to do is write their name on paper and place it under the candle. Okay, you can have you can use a candle like this. I don't know if you can see up there burning above my head. Is it still burning? I got a candle burning up there. I could use a candle like that. You can use a tea light candle, whatever. Just make sure that the candle is white. You write their name on paper, and I suggest you put it on brown piece of paper if you have it. This is a paper bag. If you have, if, you know, it's the closest thing to parchment paper. Whatever spirit leads you to do, and you place it under the candle. Then put your water there beside the candle. Remember, spirits communicate through the water. Make it easier portal for the spirits to come through. Then you're going to ask a question aloud. All right? Now, I teach y'all not to blow out candles, but in this case, you're going to blow out candle because there's magic in it. It's like you light the candle, open up the doorway, right? You light your candle, open up the doorway, you ask the question, the ancestor standing there, then you blow it out. Just like that. Write down their name, put it under the candle, make sure that it's lit, have your water there, ask the question, blow out the flame. And then you go to sleep. So make sure you do everything you're going to do before you do this ritual. Soon as you do it, get right in bed. Your dreams will bring the answer. Or you hear their voice when you least expect it. I experienced both. When I got the recipe for my 3-way healing potion, they were speaking it in my sleep. It's 3 herbs that I use, and you can use this potion 3 ways. I was waking up out of my sleep, y'all. You use this herb, this herb, this herb. This is 3 ways. 3 ways for your body, mind, and spirit. And it's one of my best-selling items within my magical shop. It's called the 3-way healing potion. It's amazing. It's got cinnamon. It's got anise. No, it's got cinnamon, cloves, and another herb. Cinnamon, cloves, and anise, I think. Yeah. It's 3 herbs that I use. Now I could tell you my herbs, but you don't know how I make it. You know what I'm saying? It's mine. But that's, you have to know. And if you look up those 3 herbs, those spices, so to speak, you'll see the magical properties and why they gave it to me. And so with the cinnamon, it's a heated herb. I can't use much. When I make my daughter, she likes hers hot. It's really spicy. It'll burn your skin if it's too much in it. And you'll still feel a little ta when you put it on. But it is actually a healing potion. I wouldn't put it on my face, although my daughter does. Just don't put it in your eyes. She said it lifts her face when she put it around her, right here on her cheeks, it lifts her face. She put it here and here. And I use it in my hair, my body. People use it for their spell work, however spirit leads you to use it. But anyway, I was saying all that to say they gave it to me. I was coming up out of my sleep and I heard it wasn't one voice. It was like they were in like one person's voice, so to speak. It was like it was a whole lot of voices in one. Like many waters. That's if I'm making sense. Now, also, if you wake up at 3 a.m., where they say this is the witching hour, with a clear thought, that's them answering your question. So, in conclusion, I want to say this. Our ancestors, they did not just survive. They didn't just survive. They spoke beyond the grave to guide us. You say, oh, they survived slavery. They survived that horrific. No, they didn't just survive. They're still speaking to us beyond the grave to guide us. Guess what? Now it's your turn. As they speak to us beyond the grave, it's your turn to speak to us. Me speaking to you, you speaking to me, you speaking to your children, passing down the story now on this plane. Because guess what? One day, you're going to be somebody's spirit guide, somebody's ancestor. That's how it goes. It's another dream that I had with my mother. She said it's a cycle of life. It never stops turning. It never stops turning. I don't care what they say. They say this life is going to go away. We're going to get a new one. This life is going to continue. The wheel of fortune is going to continue to turn because the legacy has to go on. For my children, to their children, to their children, to their children, to their children. And one day they'll look years down the line. And hopefully I'll be in some history book. And no telling what their technology is going to look like then, way then. But they can come back to this technology, which will be old by the time they get to their technology, hundreds of years down the line, and say, this was the great Queen Tayi, and these are the lessons and the messages that she shared while she was here. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Right. Wow. Okay. I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. This has been phenomenal. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really sharing some phenomenal things. Giving y'all what spirit is giving me. Unselfishly. Okay. Let me light a candle. Another tea light candle here. And then we're going to draw a card and we'll be done. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I did. You just never know how something's going to go. Just got to be obedient to spirit. All right, let's chime in. Thank you, Spirit, for what you've done thus far, how you've been speaking to us. I am chiming in to this energy that's here to receive a message for those that are watching. for my subscribers and my new subscribers. Thank you for continuously blessing my channel and blessing the people that come to hear my messages. I am grateful. I am thankful. I honor and bless you today, ancestors. Let's chime in. Spirit, what is the message that you want to give us today? I said us. Y'all ain't gonna leave me out. It's been good. I got it. Six. I was gonna get one card, but this is 6 cards. So somebody needs to hear this. So the first card that came out, let me get my. This is the Princess of Staves. Princess of Staves. Staves. Look, take a good look at that card. Absolutely gorgeous. Going right to my book. Wow. Messages from the other side. This is what the ancestors are saying to us. A higher plane or different dimension. Discerning between right and wrong. And making a stand for the right. Participating in a just cause. The eruption of something due to tremendous forces underneath the surface of everyday reality. Just what we've been talking about. Spirit's going to give you those messages, different dimension. Your discernment is going to be sharp. You got to make sure you stand up for what's right. And remember, what's right for you may not be right for another person or another family. Okay? Make sure you stand up for something. You know why? You know, a lot of people can't stand up for stuff because they're so judgmental. I am an advocate for the LGBTQ community. I'm an advocate. Yes. So stand up for somebody. And not just because, you know, somebody agrees with it. I dare you to stand up for somebody that people, you know, are shaming or coming against. That's the true humanity. That's true love. Okay? The eruption of something due to tremendous forces underneath the surface of everyday reality. That's my life as a whole. My belief system, what I'm teaching, my background, is causing an eruption. But I'm here for it. And I was built for this. And I'm not afraid. And you should not be afraid either. Does that resonate? Let me know if that resonates. So then we have the 5 of Cups. Take a minute to look at this card. Beautiful deck, y'all. The 5 of Cups. Discontentment, boredom, laziness, estrangement, depressions, weariness, loss of hope, physical incapacity or handicap, mental, emotional, or physical illness, a spiritual wasteland, numbing emotions with alcohol or drugs. There are some of you, the spirit has been calling to flow at a greater capacity, Spirit is calling you out of religion, out of the norm, and you're fighting it because you're worried about what are they going to say? What are they going to do? So and so is not going to be my friend anymore. So and so is not going to talk to me anymore. It's not about you, about you and your relationship with them, but it's about you and your relationship with spirit. And it's not going away. I don't care how much alcohol you drink. I don't care how much drugs you do. It's not going away. And so that's what's going on with a lot of melanated people. They see, they hear, they know, but they've been raised a certain way. So they try to numb it. They try to make it go away. I've met people that say, I have dreams that come true. It's hard for me to handle, so I try to smoke it away. I try to drink it away. Baby, it's part of your DNA. Could you imagine me trying to smoke and drink this away? All the shit that I do? I'm a dreamer. I'm a healer. I'm a prophetic seer. You know, I listen and I see spirit. It's no amount of drugs or alcohol that can make this shit go away. The only thing that can make it doable is that I just flow with spirit and I just dedicate myself to my craft. And that right there, my friends, my sisters, my brothers, my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses, is what's going to bring you peace and joy and longevity in this thing. So somebody's experiencing the 5 of Cups and you're not happy right now because you're not doing what spirit is asking you to do. All right. Woo! The next one, we have the princess of staves. We have the prince of staves. Take a good look at that beautiful card. This card represents inflamed passion, emotion excited by new experiences, willingness to fight for what is right, preparation for battle, a spiritual rather than physical struggle, using the fire of the soul to combat the vagaries of human existence, training to reach the peak of one's spiritual, emotional, and intellectual and physical powers. For me, that's talking to the princess is talking to a feminine energy. And I say energy because some people they were born masculine, but they have more feminine energy. I honor and respect everybody in their rightful place. But if you are a woman and you resonate with the feminine energy, on whoever this is the princess and the prince. So there's a duality, a masculine and feminine energy, telling us to be strong, telling us to hold on, not just to what we know, but even the things that we don't know. Both of these cards are calling us, they're calling us up higher. Prepare for battle. Okay? Spiritual and physical. Use the fire of your soul. What's the fire of your soul? Your fire magic. Being connected to your ancestors. Being connected to people like myself that's going to challenge and stir up that magic and that power on the inside of you. This is training. You will continuously be in training when it comes to your spiritual journey. And you will reach the peak. That's what it says. You will reach the peak of your spiritual, emotional, any intellectual, and physical prowess. Keep going. Don't stop. Seven of sacred circles. Look how beautiful that card is. 7 of sacred circles. The rewards of hard work, the bounty of the harvest, communal sharing of food and of or resources. The fruits of labor sustain the community through the winter season. Conservation of resources for lean times. Let me tell you something. If we pour into each other, we will never be without. We will never lack. You can't go wrong with being a blessing to somebody else. Your blessing may not come back directly from them, but your blessing's coming from somewhere because you blessed. This is why I do what I do. Because when my family needs something, when I need something, like I've been out of work for 2 weeks, baby, I keep pouring, pouring. If you keep pouring into spirit, baby, you will get back whatever you need. And so it is for our ancestors. That's why we burn the ancestor money. That's why we have the altar. That's why. Because we honor them, whew, they will honor you. Abundance, overflow, more than enough. There's a song in the church that said you can't beat, they sing it during offering, you can't beat God's giving. No matter how hard you try, the more you give to him, the more he'll give back to you. Just keep on giving because his word is true. You can't beat God's giving, no matter how hard you try. Yeah, just like that. You can't beat Spirit's giving. You can't beat it. So you might as well take expectation off of it and put the knowing there. I feel like I'm in church. Take the expect. I expect. When you expect, you are honing in to one way. I expect instead of opening up the doors of opportunity for the blessing to come. Okay? Because sometimes you're gonna do shit for people, they're not gonna pay you back. Sometimes you're gonna do shit for people, they're not gonna do right by you. Sometimes they're gonna do shit for people, they're not gonna do right. Okay, so you can't beat Spirit's giving. It's gonna come back in multiple ways. The next card is the Lover's card. We almost to the end. Choice. Both freedom of choice and responsible choices. Sexuality, budding attraction, sexual expression, moral and ethical values concerning sexuality, relationship, making decisions about the nature of a relationship, degrees of intimacy in a relationship, initiating and nurturing a relationship. This is speaking to somebody's intimate life. You need that. You need that. Your relationship should make you evolve into a better person. And you should be giving your significant other, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your fiance, what you desire to receive. So the ancestors' message for you today, when it comes to this card, is to cater to your love life. Cater to your love life. And if you don't know how to do that, you've been having problems, do the ritual I told you in the beginning. Ask the question, do the whole candle lighting, Write down their ancestor name, stick it under the candle, ask the question, blow out the candle, go to sleep. You have the answer concerning your love life. And then last but not least, and we'll be done here. What a great way. The sun. That's a beautiful card. Successful culmination of a quest. Basking in the light and warmth of accomplishment, accepting the bounty of life and recognizing its source, joy, happiness, exuberance, high spirits, sharing good fortune. Sharing good fortune. Get that right. Sharing good fortune, celebration, success, freedom, growth, abundance, pleasure, consciousness, manifestation, and splendor. This is the path. This reading is basically showing you the path of obedience when you walk with your ancestors. It's all good. This is the expected end of my journey. When I'm done here sharing and doing what Spirit had me to do for how many years, listen, this is my expected end. Your hard work is going to pay off. People are going to appreciate you. They may not appreciate you or give you your flowers now, but trust me, one day you're going to get your flowers. You're going to get your proper recognition. You're going to get all of the things that you need and desire on this journey. But just be obedient to Spirit and honor your ancestors. That is the conclusion of this reading and this live. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I love y'all. I see you next time. Bye-bye.